Hey, real quick, without spoiling anything, did they make that transition on Better Call Saul from the, the Jimmy storyline to the black and white?
Kyle, how is that not spoiling anything?
Yeah,
I can't.
also, Randy did say that. Welcome to the part Nick edits out later.
Episode 396 of the TV Dudes, recorded August 3rd, 2022. The Eat, Bang, Kill Time Travel Tour. This week, it's the Eat, Bang, Kill Time Travel Tour. We've got time travel in the adaptation of Image's Paper Girls on Prime. We've got Neil Patrick Harris' gay rom-com Uncoupled on Netflix. And we've got the long-awaited and very welcome Season 3 of Harley Quinn on HBO Max. But before we get to all that, I'm Randy.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Les.
And I'm Nick.
And we're the TV Dudes, and y'all can't hear this, or maybe you can. But Nick
Depends on
and
how
Les,
much of audiophiles you are.
Nick and Les are occupying the same physical space this week.
We are, in fact, two different people.
I don't mean they merged in like a weird time cop thing. I just mean they're in the same room.
Yeah, we tested the time cop thing. Apparently, Les, I'm not from the past.
No. Yeah. We were trying to get a cheaper flight ticket and everything. We tried this teleportation deal, kind of got a Brundlefly thing going.
Why are you here, Nick?
Oh, me and Les are working on a little side project. We're working on, I don't know how much you want to go into it or not.
Yeah, we're there'll be more info later, but we're making a web series later this year, and we had to make a Kickstarter pitch video for it. So obviously there'll be a lot more info to come.
Yep, we'll be pimping that here for a long time.
Oh, yeah,
so y'all should brace for that.
Man, that's awesome.
Where can folks find that on like Facebook and other social media?
Right now, you can go to the Facebook page at henshin.com, HENCHIN.com, henshin.com. Take you to the Facebook page where you can like and subscribe and all that.
Nice. All right, let's jump into our TV diaries for the week.
The Diaries of the Television Dudes. Brought to you by only the finest cocaine wine.
I'll go ahead and kick it off. I got a relatively light TV diary this week. I have watched. I started my I've been sort of rewatching The Good Place with Megan. So we finally saw the last one of season 1, which has the big reveal and is great. And then I think the first time I've watched the season 2 opener in a while, and I'd forgotten exactly what happens when and how fast they moved and all that stuff. But yeah, they're setting up that season 2 as if they're going to do one thing. It's like they're setting up that the demons are giving a little more backstory. They're giving a little more play to all the supporting cast demons. And I was like, oh, this will be interesting. We're going to get a second season where we see more of the other people and it's more of an ensemble. And nope, by the end of season 2, episode 1, they have already gone to, yep, it's a reboot again. Like they do not slow down on that show, and it's always impressive. I watched I'm keeping up with Better Call Saul, which I don't want to spoil anything for y'all, but so I don't know who all is caught up on it or not, but
I'm not, but they had some promos that may have spoiled some stuff.
They did some full on like black and white episode. There is some really good stuff going on there. They're definitely in the end game, and you can tell that they're having fun with it. It's one of the best shows on TV, and they are coming home strong. It looks like. Caught the last 2 Only Murders in the Building. I think I'm an episode behind now, but really digging the second season. I was a little worried that I wasn't worried about the cast because the cast is great, but I was a little worried there might not be a story there for a second murder mystery. But it's really working. I'm really enjoying it. Caught up with What We Do in the Shadows, and then was immediately behind as I didn't realize they dropped on Wednesdays.
So you did saw the Night Market episode.
Yes.
I saw the Night Market episode.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and that was, oh my God, that was a blast.
My familiar can kill your familiar.
There's never a time when I'm sad to see Guillermo. He is one of my favorite parts of that show.
Oh, yeah. He's just amazing.
And I love when they lean into his badassness and he just becomes Van Damme for an episode.
Yeah, and he's like, he doesn't want to be. He's like, I'm sorry.
Well, when the real vampire comes out, like, oh, you won't be able to do this. Actually, I will.
Yeah.
Remember, I'm a vampire hunter.
This will
Oh, that's right.
this will be a lot easier since I'm trying to because I was trying not to kill the humans before, right, Gladys?
I'm gonna give your glasses to your master. Okay,
Yeah,
Gladys.
I don't trust you anymore. You lost your privileges.
My favorite part of that whole bit was at the beginning where he's like, they used to do the head, and then he's like, oh my god, they're doing the head.
Oh, they still do that. Great.
A friend of mine has never seen Ted Lasso, and so she came over and we watched the first 6 episodes, and we're gonna catch the next half next week, and we're burning through that. She's been having a little bit of a rough time, and I was like, this is medicinal, trust me. And she indeed did love it and is super into it.
Believe.
As funny as we're watching it, like episode 2, she's like, why is she with Jamie? She was with Roy. They have good chemistry. And I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything. But you've spotted it. It's great. Yeah. I love watching Ted Lasso over and over again. I would mainline that thing. The only thing I'm worried about is it losing its potency for me. But so far on my like 4th or 5th rewatch, it has not done that.
Controlling your dosage.
Exactly. I watched the Peacock has a show called The Resort.
It looks really fun.
It's I had heard it sort of described as the like lesser White Lotus, and since I didn't love White Lotus, I was like, I don't know about this. But then my coworker told me it's the guy who made Palm Springs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Which I loved, and it has Kristen Milioti.
Yeah, and William Jackson Harper.
And William Jackson Harper.
I do like Kristen Milioti is getting her catalog, her theme now is like, hey, do you have a weird ass comedy that's not quite a comedy but also super dark?
Yes.
Like, is Aubrey Plaza not quite right for the role?
Right.
Maybe Christine Milioti.
Did Aubrey ask for too much money?
It's like these guys keep inspiring each other to write the next story, and then they're like, well, who do you have in mind? And it's like, well,
we're looking for an Aubrey Plaza type. Yeah, I love Kristen Milioti. I have since I saw her in A to Z. Because I missed when she showed up in How I Met Your Mother. I was already done with that show.
Mm-hmm.
Loved her in A to Z, and then I've loved her in everything she's been in since, and I feel like she's severely underrated. And I'm glad that she's getting more roles. She always picks these weird roles where I'm not sure if I like this, and she always wins me over. I watched the first 2 episodes. I wasn't like in love with it, but I'm definitely intrigued, and I probably will keep watching. And other than that, it was all homework all the time. Kyle, what about you? I can't say anything without spoiling. I feel like I've already said too much.
Oh, wow. Man, I got to watch that.
Mm-hmm.
That is not on my homework, but I did watch Only Murders in the Building. We caught up on that. I'm loving Tina Fey becoming the villain of that show.
That's mine now.
We got like a little castle marathon that's just constantly going on in the background at my house. And then I caught up on the new Chase, which they've completely redone the cast, which was kind of a bummer at first because they got rid of the Beast after only 1 season with him, and he was my favorite. And then Ken Jennings is now going to go over and host Jeopardy, which I mean, honestly, who else could it be besides him? I hated like every celebrity Jeopardy host.
Aaron Rodgers, obviously.
Oh my gosh, don't get me started. But no, they have 3 new people on there that are a lot of fun. There is one person reminds me of Chris Cox's partner, like just to a T. Like their personalities are the exact same. I don't know if she knows trivia like this woman does. Her code name is the Queen. What's the other one? The Bolt, the Queen, and I forget the other guy's name. And then James and Brad are still on there. The Chase, no, I love it. It's good stuff, and they are like out for blood. Like they are not letting anybody win anything this season. It's like really hard. But yeah, and then I watched a lot of homework and a bunch of YouTube and F1 stuff that I won't bore you with, but I promise you it was fascinating.
We'll take your word on it.
Kyle, stop making promises that you know you can't keep.
Don't draw attention to it, Randy. He's transitioned out.
And
so.
I think we should have Uncle Kyle's F1 and YouTube corner. like once a quarter, just let Kyle.
I'm tempted to just say like Kyle, like, oh no, go ahead and talk about Kyle, and then put him on mute, and then do the podcast without him. At this point,
It's like, go ahead and tell me about it. Also, what's the timestamp on your recording right now?
What's on The Office, the running gag of Creed's blog? Like, oh, no. I don't let him have the internet. We just set him up a Word doc on his desktop. He just writes it every day.
I suppose we should probably do our homework as almost like a team.
Yeah, basically we watched the same things this week, except for the episode of Owl House you watched.
Yeah, can you imagine us two without the limits of technology or time or inconvenience, what we would watch together?
Oh God, how many bad movies did you guys see this week?
Remarkably few. It's been a lot of work this week.
We had to spend an entire day watching RRR. So
that's true. We watched RRR for most of the week.
We had to block out a whole work day of like.
But we did watch all of Chucky, which was Nick's second watch through of season 1 of Chucky, which is a freaking amazing show. Oh, holy shit! I can't wait for season 2.
I love that Les got to the second episode just like I did, and he's like, "Holy shit, is this show
good?"
I'm
so on board. Holy fuck!
I follow Jennifer Tilly on social, and she is always pimping the shit out of that show.
She's amazing in it.
Oh man, she is chewing up some cereal.
It's so great.
You wouldn't believe.
Of course, we caught Harley 1 through 3 for the homework, but we watched it even not realizing it was on it. Watched a movie on Netflix, I believe, called Blasted. That supposedly is about
Norwegian film, I think.
Yeah, aliens invading and finding out that laser tag guns actually kill them, which is a pretty fun premise. The movie does not actually do that,
but it does not deliver on that premise. They play paintball.
It's actually paintball for most of it. It is fucking infuriating.
The laser guns don't come into the third act.
It's so annoying.
Oh, that's so disappointing.
We caught up on the Orville. I think there's one left. That season's nearly flawless. It remains my favorite Star Trek. I don't know who told the Orville they could go this hard this season, but fuck, man, it's amazing. Of course, RRR we've been watching since before I was born. I'm still watching it somewhere. We watched The Convent. Mike Mendez, absolutely bonkers. I feel like it's an early 90s movie, but it was actually made in 2000 about demon nuns in a burned down convent. I got Nick to watch a couple
scripts live longer.
A couple episodes of LA to Vegas. Nick got me to watch a couple episodes of The Kingdom.
No, you only watched one.
I only watched one episode.
You got Ep 2, which is really that's good.
The Kingdom's pretty great though. Even if it didn't have zombies in it, it's a cool.
Oh, is that the Korean?
Yeah, it's a cool setup, and then there's zombies.
I wanna watch that. That's been on my list. Forever.
Oh yeah, it's really you can't believe the
even the Dynasty stuff in the Kingdom is really good, and like Les said, the production value,
the color production design stuff is just amazing. Like all the hats
amount of money they must spend, or how cheap it must be to shoot there is there's some equation I can't figure out.
Either all of Korea's the best set you've ever seen, or they dropped some real money on here.
Yeah.
Of course, we also watched a couple episodes of Warrior, which was the Cinemax Bruce Lee show. It's super fun. Gangs in San Francisco post Civil War.
Mm-hmm. I got to learn some old timey swears or derogatory terms for other races, which is always fun.
Always fun.
Yeah, good.
Comes in super handy.
I guess I'm a duck, right?
So I also watched some Brooklyn Nine-Nine. We watched Benny Loves You, which is amazing just for how Benny moves.
Yes,
that movie has some problems, but it's so worth it.
It commits to its bit, though.
It's about if Toy Story were a horror movie, don't throw your toys away, people. Velveteen Rabbit will come back. Skin Horse sounds creepy for a reason.
The moral at the end of the story is for the love of God, don't throw your toys away.
God, don't. Fuck. It's crazy. No idea what the rules are, but they might come to life. Of course, we got up on What We Do in the Shadows, and I think that was it.
Yeah. I mean,
Of course, we also made a very, very short film.
All right. So let's jump into our regular segment. I think it's been a little while since we visited this because we had some timing issues, but it's time for the power ranking.
Oh yeah, and just more time means more power in the rankings, or in this case, more shows. In this little hiatus, we've had quite a few shakeups.
This is you button right there.
I'm like, this is the part where Nick normally interrupts me and like kind of throws me off my game. So I've just like, I don't need to bring a game. I'm just gonna get thrown off in like the first few minutes of my introduction. And now I feel like it's just a fake out over the camera. Gosh, people are
Y'all-
going to think I'm crazy.
Y'all
Some
can't
Rear Window
see it.
shit.
It's amazing. Les is visually
This is
messing
a-
with Kyle. It's amazing.
This is it's a visual gag that will not work on this.
No, will not
format.
translate. It's just going to sound like Kyle's stuttering. What's going on? But I'm watching it and I'm amused. So really,
And you guys are just giving me more rope. Just like, keep going, bud. Just keep going. Oh, if only I was that suave. The love. No, I'm just gonna jump into it. You want me to start with the good stuff or the bad stuff?
let's start with the bad. It's always
Yeah,
fun to see
it's
what
always
we
more
start
fun
with
to start with the bad stuff.
Yeah.
And I think
Start
our bottom 10 still hasn't changed too. Oh, I do see some new entries.
Yeah, we got some new friends who've joined the party. Last days of Ptolemy Gray, 86 out of 95 on our list, and then just kind of going down the list. Roar, which is already in the bottom. Then Players on Paramount Plus. That's a new addition. In the 89 spot. That's like seventh worst. So then the sixth worst show is also new, and that's Resident Evil over on Netflix.
Now, Kyle, I don't know how your math works on this. Because I said last days of Ptolemy Gray got a 0 from me and Les. I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it either.
So is that just like we didn't
No,
watch it?
that's
so
why
like,
that's in the bottom, because me and Kyle are the only ones that watched it, and we gave
Yep.
it average reviews.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
there's a lot of back and forth, but technically you guys are giving it zeros by doing that.
Yeah.
So it
Ah.
actually has swayed it. And I
Oh, I
thought you
know.
did that on purpose. I thought you were like, I'm just don't even want to watch this show.
Oh,
No,
I know.
well-
I'm going to give it a 0.
I mean, the thing is, last time you did the power rankings without me, Ptolemy Gray was like sitting up high because of my default score. And I had to fix that. But now I feel like I've swung it the other way. I didn't want to interfere in such a way, so I don't know.
This is the most anyone's talked about Ptolemy Gray on any fucking
Yes,
podcast.
I think it
Actually-
is.
Every time you mention it, I have my own flowers for Algernon.
I don't think Samuel L.
that,
Jackson's
like-
family knows he did it. I don't think anybody's talked about it.
like
John Hamm
like
has
Walton
talked more
Goggins
about
in
this
it.
on commercials to me.
I keep having to remember, what are you talking about? This
I mean, that's fitting. Isn't it all about like losing your memory?
Yeah,
and stuff?
it's-
That's-
Yeah. I thought it was super touching. It had the dude from Remember the Titans and Ballers.
No, I like that guy.
Yeah, what's
of
his
course
face?
you mentioned
The
two
Rock?
sports shows.
But also, Resident Evil, I did not watch. But I feel like my 0 rating can only be helping it. I
Yeah,
feel
Resident
like
Evil can suck it.
y'all-
Okay,
y'all-
Yeah.
so actually, this is a new addition. That one is legit. I have pulled you out of the rankings,
Okay.
so you can
okay.
either match the internet score, or I can just pull you out. Either way, it's gonna still.
Because I'm not watching Resident Evil. I heard y'all talk about it. I saw it. I'm not watching that.
Oh man, everything 81 and beyond, I fully agree with. Yeah, I'll die on these hills.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a shit show down
They
here.
know what they did.
Yeah, it's let's run down the really, because 81. I think 80, but I understand that some of you didn't hate it. I think 80 and below all belong on the shit list.
Here's the thing: Resident Evil falls in a weird spot where, like, yes, it's shitty, but it's not the shittiest. Like the
No.
shittiest is like 2s, 1s, 0s. It's a solid 3,
It-
and we don't really
it's a
agree on a
solid
solid 3 show.
Yeah, that's its problem, is that it would be more entertaining if it was worse.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
that's the thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
So just I'm gonna steal this. I'm gonna steal the mic here, Kyle.
Oh, go for
Just
it.
to run this down. 80 to 95. We've watched 95 television shows this year. 95 television shows. Patreon.com/TV dudes, $1 an episode. We work so fucking hard for you people.
And here's the real heavy lifting.
80, The End Game on NBC.
Fuck
81,
that one.
Maggie on Hulu, which Maggie is just aggressively mediocre.
I know. Like that one, if there's ever a number 5, that is it.
Yeah.
Of like,
Are you really like warning people like of bad shows, or are you just like, are people going like, don't say the show I love, don't say, oh no, pivoting, oh,
if
great.
you love this show, I'm
I
sorry.
guess it
but you're
depends on
wrong.
the listener, what their listening
Right.
experience is like.
82, Woman in the
They have
Window
good
Across
taste or
the
not.
House from whatever the shit that long Netflix title was. What a waste of Kristen Bell. 83, Suspicion, another forgettable BBC transplant from Apple. What if 24 were more British and more boring? American Auto on NBC, a total failed sitcom with a really great cast. Pivoting on Fox, a really bad sitcom with an even better cast.
I think we get really mad at things when they don't follow through on the title or the premise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't do the promise of the premise, man, I don't care.
Yeah.
I think like you could just lose an extra star from the TV dudes of like
86,
no one pivoted here.
Last Days of Tully McGray, we've covered that. It's just a little forgettable. 87, Anatomy of a Scandal. Oh, fuck, I'd forgotten that show.
And no, it's like a
Wow.
blank gray spot in my memory.
Oh,
It's
fuck
like
you.
the name of 3 other shows.
Except for
fuck
that
you,
slow
Net-
motion hit at the end. Fuck that show forever.
I just remembered it. Fuck you, Netflix, for making that show.
I couldn't believe that slow motion thing at the end of it. After you spoiled it for me, that he ends up he is guilty, so he's knocked off his feet
That
metaphorically.
thing, I watched all
for
of
a
that.
thing
Yes.
that he knew he did.
I actually solid 6-7 for me.
Oh my god. 88, Roar. Apple's that should have been good. It was like a female fronted ensemble that was so weird and dumb and just terrible.
What a waste of Betty Gilpin's time.
Yes.
Yes. 89, Players on Paramount Plus, which is weird. The people who made American Vandal should have been better than that.
And
don't
I
know
would
what
run
happened
back
there.
over and kick players on the ground if someone else had already fought it. Like after the school fight.
90, Resident Evil, which is again aggressively mediocre. 91, Life and Beth. Oh, fuck you, Amy Schumer. Just fuck you. 92.
Although she is kind of funny on Only Murderers in the Building.
She
That was
is.
Because
she
she's
is,
playing
yeah.
her shitty
a
version
shit
of herself.
She's NPH in it.
Yep. 92, How We Roll. Fuck you, Pete Holmes. 93, How I Met Your Father. Hated that show. Hated it. 94, Naomi. What a confusing, pointless mess. Thank you. for making
Naomi
The
is the
Flash
one
look
that's
better.
saddest on that, because that one had the other
Everything
two.
going for it. And
The other two, like what said, How We Roll and How We Met Your Mother, those weren't going to be good.
No,
like,
they were
No.
never going to be good. Yeah.
no, but Naomi
Naomi
is
should have
a
been.
cape show with Ava DuVernay. Anyway,
It
so
should have
bad.
been good.
Naomi thought it was competing with like the rest of the CW verse, which is like gone after this
Yeah,
week, but
yeah.
really it was competing with like Soups and Lois,
Yeah.
which is like
Yeah.
the future of that kind of CW
Agreed.
DC stuff.
Agreed. And then the worst show on our list, 95, and I believe it will remain the worst show on the list for this year. Welcome to Flatch. God, I hated that show.
Nah, that
Ugh, I hate that show.
that
Fuck
that show makes itself to where you cannot help but compare it to Letterkenny, and that is
Yep.
not good.
Mm-mm.
Like,
Yeah. If Letterkenny and Parks and Rec got together and had a really ugly baby.
Whenever you like, oh hey, they made an American version of the IT Crowd, and it's got like, hey, that should be good. It's not.
It's
not.
You're right.
And that's
You're
how
right.
Welcome to
what it
Flatch
is.
feels of like, oh, they made an American. It's not an American Letterkenny, but
Yeah,
it has that vibe of like, damn it.
I
This
do
is-
like the baby metaphor, because it is like Letterkenny and Parks and Rec had a baby. There was something wrong with it, but we were in Texas, so we had to take it to full term, and it killed everyone involved.
Dark. I
For
love
the win.
it. All right. Let's hear the top 10, Kyle. Let's talk about good shows.
We had to carry that show to full season.
Number 10, which was like number 1 at the beginning of the season,
Good
something
order
that
of
we all
series.
loved. Cobra Kai season 4 on Netflix.
Life begins
Just-
with its title credits.
Continuing to evolve that show. Number 9. Oh my gosh, did you guys hear the news about this show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 9's The
Holy
Bust
shit,
Down,
Jack.
Yeah,
who
Couldn't
we
believe it.
thought was going to be like a spiritual successor to Always Sunny.
fuck.
One of their principal casts has passed away
And
like in the past few weeks.
And
Honestly,
writer, co-creator, and writer.
Yeah, he's a
I
big
don't-
chunk of that.
Yeah, I don't think that show gets a second season. Without
No.
No,
it.
they can't. I don't
Yeah.
think they'll continue it on. I hope it doesn't absolutely derail.
You don't think
all of
Danny
your-
DeVito comes in to replace him? Sorry. too
Oh
soon.
my, that would, if they just bring Danny DeVito in and don't say anything, I might actually.
Yeah, he should play the role.
He should
That
just
would be-
play Jack.
Just like,
Yeah,
And no one comments on it. Nobody acts
Nope.
like anything.
No one ever brings
except,
it up.
Except,
just make it.
except for one character who can see the difference.
Just
Make it a whole thing about like not mentioning friends' changed appearances to them.
Yeah, yeah.
Number
Pandemic
8,
was hard.
I think one of the best like mind f's of the year is Severance over on Apple Plus.
Oh, it's so good.
9s across the board from us.
By the way, you can tell how good a year this has been for TV with the fact that Severance is number 8.
Yeah,
this.
Because
Yeah.
This year, man.
everything here from like a number 8 all the way down to like number, I don't know, 13, 14, 15 could easily have been a number 1 show for me.
Oh fuck yeah.
well, yeah.
Well, I mean, for every
Dang.
disappointment we had one that came out of nowhere and was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I'm looking at this list, and it's like it's better than that. It's like if I go to like number 24, I can. If someone says any of our top 24 was number 1 show of the year, I'd be like, yeah, that's legit.
Yeah, I
you
get
can make
that.
the argument.
I just love to meet somebody who's like, I don't know what to watch. It's like, I got 24 shows.
Yep.
And a
Yep.
bitch ain't one. Sorry. No, number 7, Randy, pick this one up for me because you were the one, I haven't seen this yet, but you're like, this is really good.
Got to see The Bear.
The Bear on FX. Then number 6, we all loved it across the board, was The After Party on Apple Plus.
Yes,
Oh.
absolutely amazing.
Solid.
Also great surprise, just like
Yeah.
not expecting something like that. Season 6 of Better Call Saul in the number 5 spot. I'm hoping to catch up on that too, but yeah, their promos are all the black and white scenes. So I wasn't surprised that you said they're going to go on full on with
Better
some of
Call
that.
Saul is number 5, and that's one of the best shows I've ever fucking
Right. It's
seen.
one of the best shows on TV.
I mean, don't feel bad. It's also number 3.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's on there.
So
It's on there
good.
twice. Kyle.
Awesome.
That's fantastic. That's great.
Well, so actually, what had happened was technically that number 3 because Randy doesn't have a ranking in there. Is that
No,
if
Les
I
doesn't
was
have a
to
ranking
change
there.
your ranking?
Les doesn't rank.
Oh yeah, if I was to change Les's ranking,
It would drop to
Wow.
number
caught me off guard there.
5.
That's how good it is. It's in there twice.
Mm-hmm.
But that means Yellow Jackets gets in on a technicality, which is good.
Yeah, so technically, yeah.
Which, by the way, Yellow Jackets didn't even premiere this year. We're cheating by having that on there, but I don't give a shit.
Well, I think we didn't watch it till this year.
We didn't watch it this year, but it came out last year.
Yeah, well, our big thing is this year, it's way less about the internet numbers. Like, if you look at the stuff in our top 10, I mean, The After Party has a 7.2, Bust Down has a 7.7, and these are like 9+ shows.
Well, they're
on
actually
our list.
a lot of them from new streamer or relatively new streaming services, or at least trying to get their feet under them. So I'm not sure what their numbers are doing.
Yeah,
So here's my guess, by the way. I think Peacock, there was a news item out that Peacock had flat growth, like no subscriber growth this last quarter. And HBO Max, we're watching that whole Batgirl thing and the Discovery Plus head. I feel like the HBO Max is not in a great position. I'm worried that basically 2 of the better streaming networks are going to get their knees taken out from them by the money guys. I'm worried that 2023 is going to be the year of the bloodbath for the streaming networks.
Maybe.
which sucks because I think 2022 is the year where all of these streaming platforms had a hit.
They're
Where
all
it's
good.
like
Yeah, they
like
there's a reason to
we
get
made
this
fun of
one or a
Peacock
reason
a
to get
lot,
that
but
one.
there's a lot
Peacock's
of good
been
shit
killing
on
it, and killing it was good.
yeah, you want you want Apple Plus, you want Peacock, and you want HBO Max.
Paramount Plus.
And Paramount Plus. Yeah, Paramount Plus had the offer of Star
offer?
Trek Strange
Oh
New
my
Worlds.
gosh.
Yeah.
I
You
tell
know-
you what,
yeah.
HBO Max better watch its ass. Like
I feel-
Disney is not playing around.
I feel like Quibi's just sitting back like, yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
They're like, yeah, it's easier if you put it on a fucking television.
Roku's just standing outside
What
the
streaming
door.
service can you say you watched 100% of their content? Like, that's what Quibi takes from us. Right?
Like Roku's just waiting to buy HBO Max cheap.
Oh my gosh. We're going to see Peacemaker on Crackle.
Yes.
Cracker.
Yes,
That'd
there's
be
all
a
of
great
Peacock
promo.
on Tubi.
Peacemaker with the CVNT5 ads interspersed.
Right. CVNT5 now with 10 ads in a row.
Speaking of Peacemaker, so Atlanta is our number 4 or our number 3 show, depending on who you ask. And then Better Call Saul is then the number 3 or 4 show.
Makes sense.
Atlanta's getting its final season later this year, too.
Yep.
So,
Did I see promos for that?
Oh, yeah,
they
they're already
just
up
got
on it.
some, Yeah.
They already shot
Wow.
it. It's done.
Ooh, that means competition
shot-
for next year. There's a slot open.
They shot it back to back. Yeah.
That means Atlanta's going on the list twice, too, and I'm going to forget that one also. All right, so then our number 2 show, which I was like, nothing's going to rank higher than this, but Peacemaker on HBO,
Yep.
which I just top tier television experience for me this year, but not as top tier as What We Do in the Shadows over on FX.
That's the only thing I can think of that could beat it.
Yes.
Y'all peer pressured me into the 10s, by the way, because y'all were set to 10, and I was like, I'm going to give it a 9.5 because I don't know if I like it. I mean, I like it as much as I like all the other 9.5s. Like, do I like What We Do in the Shadow more than the Bear, more than the After Party, more than Better Call Saul? But I was like, fuck, there's no reason this isn't a 10. This is a fucking 10.
Like an
It just
orphan kid
is.
that survived cancer just did a triple flip, and all the judges
Tell
are
me-
just
tell
staring
me
at Randy
something
like,
that's wrong
you
with it.
heartless fuck.
Tell me one thing that's wrong with it.
I can't. That's the thing. I had to give it
Right?
a 10. Yeah, I can't. It's a 10. It's the perfect show.
Even more impressive because it's What We Do in the Shadows has its build momentum with its previous seasons. Peacemaker came out of fucking nowhere with a shitty movie that no one watched.
Right, too shitty.
When you listen to them talk about this in the first season, they talked about it like, I can't believe anybody's letting us do this. Like, this is the simplest idea. Like, how are we still expanding on it? And every season, they have like just upped the game and blown the previous season out the water to where like this season, it's like,
oh, you want to meet some
anything
fairies,
goes.
huh?
You're so rewarded for like investing in the lore.
Open up the on the dumpster.
10 out of 10.
Kyle, I'm going to steal the mic back from you for a second. Again, we talked about it. I'm going to run down our top 1 through 25 here because I think, with the exception of 25, which unfortunately ending issues I think might have saved it, any of these could be a number 1 show this year. This is what if anyone's like, oh, what should I catch up on? These are the 25 shows you should absolutely have watched by the end of the year. And those shows, going in order from lowest to highest, I guess. From on Epix, like I say, that's a little bit. I'm not sure, just because of the.
Well, it doesn't ruin its ending because it doesn't fucking have one.
It doesn't have an ending, and so we really have to wait and see if it comes through from the ending for us. Only Murders in the Building on Hulu is number 24. Number 23, Made for Love on HBO Max season 2. 22, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds on Paramount Plus. 21, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel on Prime. 20, Hacks season 2 on HBO Max. 19, Pam and Tommy on Hulu.
Ding,
18,
ding, ding.
Shoresy on Hulu. 17, Kids in the Hall on Prime. 16, Miss Marvel on Disney. 15, The Offer on Paramount Plus. 14, Stranger Things season 4 on Netflix. 13, The Boys season 3 on Prime. 12, Girls 5 Eva 2 on Peacock, and then our top 10, which we just went through. I mean,
wow,
that's a hell of a bunch of good TV, and that leaves out Killing It, Julia, the new Orville. Then
which are spectacular ways to spend an evening or an afternoon or a morning or all day.
Yeah, there's so much good TV, you guys.
Soups and Lois.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, for a little while there, I never thought we'd see the heights of TV like Real Rob, the OA.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we would all like a new season of Real Rob and the OA, obviously, but
but this is pretty good.
Bring back the irregular cut.
and of course, Nick would we definitely want to see more of the irregulars.
Beat you to it.
I just want to make sure people remember that you watched all of the irregulars, because
we have to do it every once in a while. Otherwise, we will legitimately forget that show. We need to make sure that we hit it every once in a while.
Nick, I don't think you'll ever forget that show.
Can
because
I
I
point
feel
something
like
else out about the rankings?
Angry. Yes.
You just went through essentially like 1/3 of our list.
Yeah.
If you look at the other 2/3, like we've already like pointed out, this is the worst of the worst. But like there is a lot of shows on here that got everybody's attention that were not like bad shows, but I mean like Obi-Wan, what is it? The Halo show.
Yeah. Oh, I legitimately like
Reacher, Minx, Physical. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of shit in here.
I think
Russian Doll.
Nick, you and Les need to give Our Flag Means Death another shot, because I finished it up and people are right. It's really good.
Eventually, I will. I think.
Which one?
Yeah,
Our Flag Means Death.
Our Flag Means
Gay
Death.
Pirate. Yeah, I mean, that show should definitely hit Taika Waititi way faster if it wanted me to stick with it.
Also, Nick and I are the only ones who watch Barry. That's crazy.
Are we really the only ones up on Barry?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm behind this season.
Shit.
Oh man.
Yeah. But it's one of my favorites. I'm definitely catching up as soon as I get a moment.
The year for dark humor. It's like this and Physical.
Is it good?
Like, oh, it's fantastic.
Oh,
it's so
you
good.
Can't...
It's almost as good as What We Do in the Shadows, which we really should have told you about. And I feel
still mad.
So what you're saying, Les, is that in a year you're going to watch Barry and come back and be like, how come you guys ever mentioned this show?
And then in 2 years, Nick is going to like personally ask me to stop. Acting like y'all never told me about this, the way he does with the Brooklyn Nine-Nine running joke. You can see the irritation building.
I'm in the same physical space as you. There might be physical consequences.
It's great.
I feel like you do not recognize the danger of the situation.
He looks blurry like a lacrosse stick out of time.
Random question: is American Horror Stories different than American Horror Story?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It is an episode by episode anthology. Like every episode's different. and they connect back to the seasons often, but American Horror Story is like a whole season story.
Yeah.
American Horror Stories is confusingly...
It's a shorter anthology.
Do they release
the other season-long anthology?
It's like Alien and Aliens.
It's basically like if your younger brother, like, you were working on something and he couldn't keep focused, and like, okay, you can do your own thing off on the side.
Is it like Fear the Walking Dead? They do adjacent seasons now.
Yeah, it's like that. If Fear the Walking Dead wasn't terrible.
Yeah, if you like American Horror Story but just wanted it to go faster for some fucking reason.
Yeah,
and sometimes I do. All right, that's our power ranks for the week. Thank you, Kyle, for doing all the heavy lifting on that. Just a good reminder that you can support us by going over to patreon.com/tvdudes. Throw us that $1 an episode. In exchange, we get to keep up with our streaming costs and pay for our hosting, and you get bonus content each week. This week, we're starting what I am calling, what did I call it? Not TV at the movies.
Home theater?
Yeah, TV Dudes. Home theater? TV Dudes at the movies, I thought you did.
TV Dudes
I
at the
liked
movies.
Home theater.
Home theater.
I mean, that's what
Did Nick Cage
that's what
beat
I'm gonna
us?
edit in later, so you might as well just call it what it is.
We're calling it Home Theater. And this week we're talking about RRR, the Indian movie that was like all a buzz, and I watched it on a plane on the way home, and then I made everybody else watch it. And I'm curious to see the results
Watch
of that.
that on a plane.
I'm curious about the results of that experiment. We
And
also
it didn't crash.
we also have our $20 showrunner level. So if there are shows you want us to watch, you can throw that into the mix. Just have to do it once. You don't have to do it a whole time. But if you do and leave it for a while, you can give us patron requests for the rest of your life, which is what Max is going to do. We've gotten up School of Chocolate and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and My Hero Academia is on deck next. And I believe that John Paul has another vote coming our way. I don't know what he's going to pick. Hopefully,
Ian
it's
Les
not
got
on
started
Crackle.
on Cowboys from Mesa for whoever wants to put that on the Patreon.
God damn it!
We forgot to mention it in TV Dudes, but we did watch the first episode of.
Yep. Bang 'em high.
Yeah, that was not that title did not age well.
That does not sound like what I think it is. Yeah, no.
You got to follow the code of the West, Randy.
Let's talk about new business for the week. And let's start with Paper Girls over on Prime. This is an adaptation of Brian K. Vaughan and Cliff Chang's Image comic, which is about paper girls in the 1980s. They deliver newspapers on bikes, and then time travel shenanigans happen. I'm curious to hear hot takes. So what y'all thought?
Dude, real quick, that Anthony Furlong de-aging technology was
amazing.
insane.
Yeah, it's Edward Furlong.
Or Edward Furlong,
It's
sorry.
fucking perfect.
I mean, I guess once they used him for that one Terminator movie, like, we might as well just buy the model.
It's like how shark movies are
Yeah.
cheap. Like,
It's
there's like a Utah
They're
teapot
walking around.
of
Seriously,
He's now on stock sites. It's like, yeah, just throw Edward Furlong in
I
there.
thought, like, oh, it's Halloween. She's dressed up as John Connor. Nope.
Nope. It's 2 years before that movie came out. They're just dressed as John Connor. No, I feel like they had a super exciting 6-episode show, and Amazon was like, yeah, but on our channel, you're contractually obligated to throw in 2 episodes worth of filler time.
We need a Christmas episode and we need a beard episode.
Yeah. Because yeah, like all things Amazon, this is just a little bit slow, but still really cool.
Well, they end the first episode, like, it's about time travel, basically. And it's got, like, a A and a B story, and the A story is the kids trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. The B story is this time travel cop thing, or these two factions fighting over the timeline. And the timeline thing is way more interesting, and they spend way less time on it.
Mm-hmm.
And the A story, it's not like it's uninteresting, but they stop and have meaningful, like, character developing conversations 7 times in a row. Like, there's literally what episode we watched that they were just waiting for a time.
Yeah,
window to come up.
episode 4, they literally just like
They're literally killing time.
We kill 3 episodes of time before you show me the giant mech you have in a silo, which would have got me to watch the whole show in the first night.
I don't care what backflps you had to do.
That shit
Put
should have
that
been in the first
robot
episode.
in the first fucking episode.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. Kyle, what did you think of this? I have thoughts, and I've read the comic, and I'm curious to see.
I've not read the
You know, here is an experience that a lot of people are going to have. I turned on the trailer for this. Never read the comic. All right. Got a great synopsis of the show. Got really excited. Then I watched the first episode, and the first episode was just the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have time to watch any more past the first episode. So it's like, I am very, like, well equipped on, like, the premise of it, but I have no clue where it goes. And it kind of bums me out. I'm like, if you could just put all that in the trailer, then why not just start the story from there?
It's almost like most of that first episode is unnecessary.
Exactly.
Here's where I am. Paper Girls in the comics, one of the problems of adapting it is Cliff Chang's art is phenomenal, and that's a big part of it. And if you're not going to go hard on the visuals, then you're not going to accomplish anything. And the thing about Paper Girls is it's fucking weird.
But the sky's been great.
There are giant tardigrades. There's a lot more crazy mutants and shit. Like
they keep mentioning weird shit, Randy, that we somehow never fucking see. Like, oh man, these guys, it sucks when they feed people to dinosaurs. What?
Show that.
This was my fear. My fear of what, and it seems like I watched 2 episodes and noped out of this because I was like, this is slow, it's boring, and they're doing what I feared they did, which is I think the 4 leads, the 4 Paper Girls, are great, good casting, good characters. Yeah. I like Ali Wong. Ali Wong feels a little bit like she's sleepwalking through the part, but I like Ali Wong.
But Ali Wong sleepwalking is still more charming than most people.
Yeah. But
that story is really not interesting.
It's so dull and so unfocused on the interesting. Like you say, you got a giant fucking robot. Where's that? Like all the interesting weirdness. It's like they tamped it all down. I don't know if it was budget or they thought it was too weird, but I'm like, Upload is weirder than this.
Yeah.
I don't understand because they mention cool things, but they also have a good relationship later with Joe and her brother.
Yeah, Joe and her brother have that is a really fun relationship.
They instantly bond. Like he misses her because she died a couple years after.
Yeah.
And he became a doctor for her. And that relationship between this girl and this older guy totally sells his siblings.
The actors fall straight into a like thumping each other's ears like sibling thing, even with this age gap, and it's really interesting.
And the brother is so happy, and you can tell that he's gonna try and save her from the illness she dies of before she time travels back.
Yeah,
and he doesn't care what that does to the timeline.
Like that's great, but again, that's in episode fucking 4.
Jason Mantzoukas pops in fucking at the end of episode 3, I want to say.
No, in the end of episode 4.
End of episode 4. Where the
they should have got to Ali Wong by the middle of the first episode and the robot by the end of the pilot, and then given me Mantzoukas by the end of Ep 2, and I'd have watched this whole thing a couple nights ago already.
And
give me gay pirates.
I don't want to advocate for out of sequence storytelling because it's easy to do badly, but fucking this may be one of those cases where you just start in the middle, show us all the crazy shit, and then show us what happened. Like the starting with the Paper Girls and like bullies and all the shit that they did and getting us to the end of episode 1 where it's like, oh, we time traveled. Not good use of time.
Well, also, I don't think you even have to, because I think you can crunch that down. I think by the time you get to Ali Wong's character, I feel like you can do that in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And Nate Cordry explains everything going on with the 2 factions in like a 3-minute piece of exposition, and then it's done.
Yeah.
But that's in episode fucking 4.
And here's the thing. In reading the original Paper Girls, I remember reading that book and loving it and being on like issue 6 and being like, I love this book. I don't know what it's about. So it's not like it's a bad adaptation. Like that's kind of what Paper Girls did, but it had enough weirdness to keep you interested. This seems like the same thing. Like, we're going to string you along, but not give you like Cliff Chang's artwork or the interesting, weird, why are there floating tardigrades in the sky?
Brian K. Vaughan may have the worst string luck of adaptations outside of like Stephen King in the 80s.
It's well, you say that, but one of his was a Stephen King adaptation because
Under the Dome was god awful.
This makes me not want to see a mini series of The Sword, which is one of my favorite Image comics.
But the thing is, the Under the Dome was a Stephen King project adapted by Brian K. Vaughan, and it was terrible.
Yeah, King wants it readapted.
And then Why the Last Man was awful. Paper Girls is forgettable. Well, and people are trying to develop Saga, which I already thought was unfilmable, and now I'm like, you guys are going to fuck this.
Oh man, Saga's going to
be Paper Girls has its problem of like kids on bikes of trying to like find the tone of Stranger Things or something.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. This looks like them going, this is going to be Amazon Stranger Things.
Which is, I think it was. They focus on the kids so much of it because they think we're going to like the kids as much as we like the Stranger Things kids.
Yeah, but it took time to like them, and in the meantime, there was fucking ghosts and
a Demogorgon eats somebody in Ep 1. goddammit!
And episode 1, yes, exactly. Yeah,
yeah. Somebody, and it was actually 3 kids in that first season. A lot of people don't realize.
Yeah, somebody at Prime needs to. I don't know what executive it is. I don't know which development person it is, but someone needs to shake them and go faster.
Or go slower depending on what the property is, because it's either too slow or way too fast. Like Upload is weirdly fucked in pacing.
Yeah, you're right.
Invincible is unbelievably too fast.
Yeah.
Like,
how did the boys escape this curse? I don't understand it.
I don't know. Maybe because The Boys is what it is, of like, we're gonna blow some people up. You want to see that, right? Well, we're getting to it right now.
I don't know, maybe 15 million years of whatever of Eric Kripke doing Supernatural. Maybe he just barreled into Amazon with like, I got this. I make my own show.
Hey,
Get away
one
from
of season 3, we're going to show you a small guy crawl into a guy's dick and then explode out of it.
And that's going to be like the first weird thing that happens this season.
And then we're going to escalate.
Yeah.
You want to know what you're going to be talking about at work Monday morning? This tiny little dude.
It's relations radiation from another generation, making makers out of me and out of you. Open worlds of inspiration, fabrication, celebration. If you dream it, you can make it. You can make your dreams come true. Wake the population, imagination, illumination, manifest your destination, make your space, exceed all expectations, and exclaim the declaration. Yeah, we can make the world a better place.
Well, all right, that's enough time spent on Paper Girls. Let's jump over to Uncoupled over on Netflix, which is made by Darren Star from
Sex and the City.
Sex and the City, and one of the writers of Modern Family. I'm guessing the one who wrote a lot of the Cam stuff, just based on this show is. This, honestly, this may be the gayest show I've ever watched. And I'm proud of Netflix for doing it, but I also feel like it's like LA, New York gay, and I'm like, the gay people that I know, this is such a like
it's Sex and the City gay. Yeah.
It's privileged, rich, gay.
Like, I can't tell if it's offensive or not, but like it's so stereotypically gay.
But at the same time, I burned through this whole thing. I found it to be a very entertaining background.
Oh my God, Nick and I watched 3 episodes straight in a row, and we're like, how in the fuck? Like, this is a lot more entertaining than I thought it would be. It's funnier than most sitcoms, frankly.
It's getting by on a lot of juice from Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh my God.
Neil Patrick Harris, and also Gene Triplehorn is a secret weapon. And who plays his partner at the firm?
Gina.
Yeah.
Actually, it's Tisha Campbell.
Like
plays Suzanne.
Is it Tisha Campbell? Who is? What do I know that name from?
From Martin. She was Gina.
Oh, I've never seen Martin.
But also, that show takes 3 episodes before it gets to what it's really about, which is the 2 people that are getting broken. No, that's getting left.
Randy, that is not Gene Triplehorn. That's Marcia Gay Harden.
Oh, right.
From Trophy Wife.
From Trophy Wife.
And Paula.
I wondered if that's who you meant.
Gene Triplehorn played a similar role in something else, and I get the 2 of them mixed up as a result. But yes, Marcia Gay Harden, you're right.
Love her.
Oh, she's great. And I knew it was her because I was remembering her from Trophy Wife playing a very similar rigid character. And she's great. She's great in that role. I love her. I thought they were great. I also thought they did a good job. His ex, Colin, like they could easily have made him just hateable. But when he returns, I'm like, this guy's not so bad. I understand why he spent so much time with him. I understand why this was such an out of the blue. Like, he's just kind of having a bad, like, he didn't mean to wreck his whole life.
Yeah.
He just wasn't happy.
But at the same time, he has absolutely
destroyed his whole life.
Destroyed Neil Patrick Harris's life.
Yeah.
I mean, because Neil Patrick Harris, you feel for him because it's like, you were going to break up for me, you broke up with me and then at our party and then just left.
Yeah.
We're not going to have a conversation about this. Yeah. And then to suggest the therapy later as only kind of as a courtesy, really.
And then to leave after therapy, like, no.
Well, his whole statement of like, I had to move stuff out in the middle of the day so that you thought we were robbed because I knew if I talked to you about it, you would talk me out of it. And it was like, oh, so you're too nice a guy to break up, but you're miserable. That's why you agreed to therapy, even though you have no intention of like, he's done.
Yeah.
Like he's out. He's done.
He just doesn't know how to say back. I'm done. I'm out.
He won't do it.
It's got to be more about Neil Patrick Harris being all about himself too, because he is a little self-involved. But he threw him that party that was all about Colin.
Yeah.
That didn't really have anything to do with him at all.
I don't know. Love Languages, that may have been all about Neil Patrick Harris, showing him like, I'm giving you this. Mm-hmm. I'm the one who came up with this. When really Colin just wanted to do dinner.
There's also a little bit of Colin says to him, yeah, everything there had 50 on it, and I told you I didn't want that to be a milestone. So there is something about Neil Patrick Harris may be listening, but he's not hearing him.
Yeah.
There's definitely a little bit of that, because with so much of this is from his character's point of view, we see him as a sympathetic character, but because they didn't fully evilize Colin, there are elements you can pick up on like, oh, you know what? I I can see where this might not be a problem. I think that maybe season 2, based on where they leave off.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I'll watch a season 2 of this. I was not expecting much. I'd heard some rough reviews. It was kind of forgettable. And yeah, I sat through the whole thing and found it was really fun.
I haven't watched the whole thing, but yeah, after the first 2 episodes, I recognize that this relationship is done. It's over. Like, as much as he wants it to not be, is like,
figure it out, man. Come on.
Yeah, Colin is giving all the signals of like, no, this is like, I keep saying that we'll talk about it, but no, I'm not.
But I think about all the shows that I get 3 or 4 episodes into, and I'm still like barely trying to figure out who's a partner to who and who's broke up and why I'm so. And I cannot believe how immediately invested I was in like, oh my God, Colin did what? Drama. And yeah, I was just immediately enjoying the show and expected nothing.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm surprised. I mean, I'm not going to say this is like my favorite show. It's going to sit right in the middle, but it was surprisingly fun.
Tisha Campbell, I think, gets all the best lines in the first few episodes, at least. Every time she walks in, it's like, she's going to say something that's going to get a really good laugh.
All right, let's talk Harley Quinn season 3, the Eat Bang Kill tour.
This kind of is a little dessert right here.
Yeah,
it is, man. I think we'd all been looking forward to it, and it did not disappoint. 3 episodes in.
3 full episodes back, too.
Yeah.
How did they get an awesome Batman show on TV like this?
Because it's a comedy and not anything fucking serious.
Yep.
No, this is just a full-on Batman show. Like, not that Batman's the star of it, but like, this is the whole Bat universe. I feel like this is what we want every show to have. But, it just takes so long for them to get to it. This just throws everything at you.
They may have done permanent damage to Bane.
Yeah, I don't know if Bane is ever going to...
I don't know that character will ever recover.
Not in a bad way, because this is
better than
it's wonderful. Of Bane.
Even when he thinks to himself in his own inner monologue,
his
voice is still muffled.
His inner monologue is still muffled. What?
Like the voice in his head is wearing a mask. Yeah.
It's Ghost to keep the gift.
I laughed so hard at these 3 episodes back. All of the villain awards, Joker's "Oh my God, I'm late to host" intro skit is the most dark, vicious thing I think I've seen on a cartoon in years.
It's like a Saturday Night Live opening skit.
Oh my God,
of Jason's death.
Man, yeah.
And then the Jason Todd actor starts dancing with him.
We finally got to see the scene that spawned that whole discussion last year, and our entire Patreon, the actual, I guess, foot massage now. I love that it was just a kind of like, no, you know what? We're not going to change anything about the scene. We'll have somebody draw in 2 feet. That's it.
We drew in 2 feet. Don't worry. Because the feet are there, they won't be drawn attention to it. Unless someone leaks a thing where people would really be drawn attention to this scene and figure it out very quickly. Right. But hopefully that doesn't happen.
But I love that when the leak happened, it wasn't just that, like, the joke of the scene is not that Batman goes down. The joke of the scene is that he asks Catwoman if he should keep going, and she says, "Why bother?"
Yeah, it's not
like it's like what he's doing isn't worth it. Like this is the skill Bruce doesn't have.
Yes.
I paused it, was like, son of a bitch, that's the reason. And sure enough,
I'll tell you where we paused and we had to like golf clap at this show though, was fucking Codpiece.
Oh my God. So they do Codpiece, which is funny enough of like, oh no, I've absolutely not heard anybody saying that you're compensating for anything. That's never.
People definitely are saying that.
It's the out of nowhere, blink and you miss it. He turns and knocks Puppet Master cold.
No,
or not
Toy
Puppet
Man.
Master, Toyman. He turns
right
and knocks Toyman cold. like Toyman's just the right height, and Codpiece just turns and clips him to the fucking ground. We had to rewind it. I laughed so hard.
Yeah, that whole Billy's thing. And I like Harley and Ivy's relationship as far as they're finding ways to overcome complications without it just being a big, like, fight every time.
Yeah.
Finding the invisible jet by having to fire off a missile.
Yeah. Opening the show on watching their own porno.
That
was, and then it comes back to that.
Yes, that was so good.
Oh, yes, so great.
Oh, Alfred, yeah.
Yeah. They're sticking with the macaroni for some reason.
I totally forgot about that. And when he's like, "You can ride with the macaroni,"
oh, I was just and we were speaking of Guillermo before. Yeah. His Nightwing,
Harvey.
Oh
Guillermo.
Yeah.
You're doing something with your voice. I'm not doing anything with my voice. It's too serious.
I think it's
just
right.
serious.
Yeah. Also, we haven't mentioned Clayface is his greatest role
God.
as James Gunn's vibrating chair.
And
then
Billy Bob Thornton.
and Billy
William
Bob Thornton.
Robb. Oh, I love
And
that.
Catwoman's fucking apartment.
Catwoman's apartment where he goes in and there's a tiger. I was like, oh, that's right. It's Catwoman's apartment.
It was like, don't open the green door.
Yeah. Precious is in timeout.
This is one of those shows that, honestly, when it first came out, I did not think it was going to work because I thought it was going to be I thought it was going to be so insulting to the characters that I love that I was just going to hate it. But no, there's a warmth toward these characters, even as they are mocking them within an inch of their lives.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, like Gordon is just constantly like the butt of all these jokes.
their
and
Gordon is so
love
sad,
it.
but so funny.
Oh, man.
Just a fucking hilarious.
I'd never
He knows the
considered,
porn
like,
stars by
what
name
a-
like instantly. He's
Yeah.
like, wait a second, what are
And
you
let's
doing
not
here?
get out of here without talking about Ron Funch's King
Oh.
Shark
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
King
I
Shark
still
always
wish
great.
he'd been King Shark and
in the
Guns.
suicide. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, oh, don't eat the sushi. That's just for the cats, and then the cats get a whiff of him, and they just attack him.
Yeah,
off screen.
he's in the background of the screen of scenes, just like running from cats.
Also, was that real James Gunn in there?
Yes,
I think
James
so.
Gunn
Yeah,
is
that's
James
he's now
Gunn is
using
here,
it as his picture.
Yeah, his
Yeah,
Twitter
yeah.
profile is now that picture of himself in the Harley Quinn.
I love that Clayface just can't fix his jacked up teeth.
That's
Like
Oh,
that's
yeah,
how you know
yeah.
it's Clayface.
Also,
That's so good.
the whole thing with Kite Man and his new girlfriend was kind of sweet.
Golden Glider, she's
Golden
I
great.
Glider.
loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything about this works. Everything about it is hilarious. And it's like one of those things where every time I watch it, I want to go back and rewatch the entire thing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also one of those where you cannot get started and have lots of episodes because you just cannot stop. You would just keep
Yeah.
going. Like, I just want a little bit more, a little bit more.
Yeah. Oh, I knew that going in. I was like, I looked at it. I was actually a little bit almost relieved there was only 3 episodes because I'm like, otherwise, this is all I'm watching. There's
Also-
no way I would have watched Uncoupled if I'd had Harley Quinn to watch.
I think if they did a great joke of like having the Suicide Squad come up with Amanda Waller, and it's the Suicide Squad from the first movie, and then the
Yeah.
person they fight is Plastique, and whoever
Yes.
thought, let's give Plastique a Midwestern accent
Yes.
or a Canadian accent, or
She's
whatever.
Canadian, yeah.
She's Canadian, yeah.
she's
she's
a-
But it
Canadian.
she's a
definitely sounded
Quebecois
Midwestern.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Also, there was just a touch of Letterkenny riff on the way that she was talking. I think there was something about it
Yeah.
where it's like, I was like, is that a Letterkenny joke? Because her Canadianness was very Letterkenny Canadian.
What they say, they were like, you can't be a Canadian villain. All people in Canada are nice. Something like that. Paraphrasing, of course.
Anyway, super great. And I think that's everything for this week.
Mhm.
Thank you, Les. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Kyle.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Randy.
Randy.
Thanks, dudes.
And thank you to our listeners. Thank you to our patrons. Just a reminder, you can go to patreon.com/tvdudes. Throw us that $1 an episode. Make our lives worthwhile for watching at least like 20 really terrible shows for you. Trying to find the good stuff, finding at least 25 great ones. It's so much good TV, you guys. And until next time,
TV
TV Dudes out!
The TV Dudes is an independently run podcast out of Austin, Texas. We are exclusively listener supported. If you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com/tvdudes.
You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TV Dudes. All the music for our show is done by our friend and original TV dude Gregory J. Amani Smith.
To find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com. I'm Randy Lander.
I'm Les Weiler.
And I'm Kyle Scott.
Thanks for listening.